Welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I'm talking about why Yelp is almost always the #1 result in organic search results. Now, Yelp has been a predominantly showing up in local SEO for several years. Usually it's on the first page. It's always been there. But there is another reason that you may not know about why, if you're trying to rank for any local search term, why Yelp seems to dominate the #1 or #1 and #2, or sometimes in 1, 2, and 3 spots. And the reason is about a year ago, they filed an antitrust lawsuit against Google. And they claimed that even though Google was showing them prominently in search results, they claimed that it was unfair competition. Now, behind the scenes, Google may be adding just a little bit of punch to Yelp results and making sure that they are displayed prominently because they don't want to lose this lawsuit. And remember, in the United States, everything with the publicly held company is about shareholder value, meaning the stock price has to go up like each quarter. The stock price always has to be up so that the main stockholders, who are usually the executives, can cash out. Okay, so Google wants to avoid this, but Google also wants to avoid having government regulation. If there's an antitrust suit and they're broken up, kind of like how the phone companies were broken up like 25, 30 years ago, like here in the US, they don't want that to happen. They don't want regulation coming in. And in fact, most of the technology companies in the US right now, like Google, Facebook, Amazon, any of the social media companies that are huge, they don't want regulation of any kind, because and also the stock market does not want regulation on them, because right now a lot of the GDP, or the overall gross economy of the US right now is in technology, and specifically these technology companies. So Google, for 3 reasons really, we'll say 3 reasons. One, Yelp is usually a good result for local SEO. Usually some kind of marketplace, whether it's Yelp, Thumbtack, or whatever it is, some kind of third-party site. Maybe not Thumbtack, maybe just Yelp. But they usually display good results and allow people to choose from a selection of businesses that fit that description in a local area. Yelp is usually pretty on point for that. There's user generated reviews, so real customer reviews, those sorts of things. So it's not the worst thing to rank up there. But also, Google wants to avoid antitrust from the US government. They don't want to be broken up. They don't want to be regulated. The stockholders and the executive board definitely do not want any type of regulation. They don't want an antitrust. They don't want to pay Yelp. Honestly, though, on a side note, Yelp, if you've noticed this too, they've really stepped up recently in having people call you, the business owners, to do ad placement with them. Now, somebody did a research on this not that long ago, and they compared buying ads on all these different platforms like Google, Facebook, Yelp, a bunch of other ones. Might have been like Twitter and LinkedIn, I don't know, Instagram. And what they found, cost per click to actually like a converting paying customer, Yelp ended up being like the most expensive out of any of them as far as the actual cost of customer acquisition. Now, that doesn't mean that in some industries, though, like HVAC, for certain, you've almost got to run ads. Now, one thing that Yelp is doing that Google also does, we're going to talk about in a video tomorrow, but Yelp is, absolutely going insane with like selling ads at the top of the page. And one client that I picked up recently, an HVAC company, one thing I noticed when I was looking at the actual Yelp for their area, there's like 10 ads before you even get to organic results. So there's 10 companies paying to be at the top of the page, I'm assuming at like $3.50 a month minimum to Yelp. Now Yelp they're not hitting their projections as far as like sales of making money and revenue. That's why you'll notice it too. Like the person who calls you from Yelp, every 3 months it changes. It seems to change like quite often. I've noticed it. They'll email me, they'll call me, they'll leave messages and stuff. I'm not answering because I really don't. I mean, I enjoy being on Yelp. I mean, I don't want to get rid of my overall listing, but I'm definitely not paying for advertising. But in your industry, you might have to. You might have to do that in certain home-based industries where it's highly competitive in a big metro area. You might need to do that. Anyway, that is just kind of some insight on why Yelp is usually number one. Sometimes it's number 1, 2, 3 in Google results. I actually want to close out on this. I saw somebody tweet this the other day, and this might have been in New York, but the result was, haircuts in New York, best haircuts. It might have been New York, but it might have been another city. I might just be remembering it wrong. So, if it is, correct me down below. But the top 7 Google results for this particular search were all Yelp landing pages. Now, Yelp often puts these landing pages out there for different cities. Sometimes if you search for a certain service or a certain type of thing that you're looking for in a certain city, there might be like 2 Yelp or 3 Yelp pages if those cities are all close together. Maybe they're on the same stretch of highway or the same path, or they're really close geographically. But Yelp is not the worst result in the world, but that is why Google will not push them down farther. They really, really, really fear this antitrust stuff. They don't want to deal with it. They want the the lawmakers and the government to see like, hey, we're showing them we're not pushing them down. Just stay out of our business and let us run stuff the way that we want to. Tomorrow, my video is going to come back. We're going to talk more about Google Ads and kind of Google's business model and some things that have changed very recently with Google. So definitely tune in tomorrow. Check that out. My name's John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO. I'm here every single day publishing videos on SEO for the industrial and manufacturing industry. Sometimes we cross over into other things, but that's basically it. I would love to see you subscribe. That's all I have for this video. Until next time, peace.